Today is Constitution Day. As an educator, I've always tried to prepare some kind of lesson or insist that my teachers have some kind of lesson to teach students about the Constitution. I think that we all, as a society, need a civics lesson. We need to learn more about our Constitution and understand what it means. One of the things that people don't quite get is that we have co-equal branches of government. We have a three-part government. We have the executive, which is supposed to execute law and nothing more. We have the legislative, and they're supposed to create law and nothing more. And then we have the judiciary, and they are supposed to adjudicate or interpret law and nothing more. What we have is a system of checks and balances. The executive doesn't write the law. The judiciary doesn't create the law, and the legislative doesn't try to execute the law. But recently, our government has gotten it all backwards, and they're trying to do the other person's job. What I personally don't like are these cafeteria constitutionalists. Those are the people that say, "Oh, I'm a constitutionalist, and I believe in it, and I have a better understanding of it," and then they criticize the Supreme Court, or they criticize the executive, or they make these critiques of a branch that they have no business critiquing. So when a congressman tells the Supreme Court that they're wrong, they're overstepping their bounds. You see, the Supreme Court will make mistakes. They've made plenty of mistakes throughout the past. Many of the decisions I don't agree with. Dred Scott, Plessy versus Ferguson, Citizens United. But this is the system that we have. And so we accept that system and we move forward and then hope that we get a Supreme Court that actually does better jobs. We've had plenty of presidents, both good and bad. The problem that I see is that the president is supposed to be just the executor of the government. They're supposed to sign things into law and occasionally veto a law and risk the override. But they're not supposed to interpret, or they're not supposed to create law. But when the legislature fails to do their job, we've got presidents that overreach their authority. The most gratuitous example being the Bush-Cheney administration, where Cheney, as a VP, expanded the powers of the executive more than we've ever seen before. Getting that power back, that's going to be the task. And then the legislative, pretty much everything the legislature does right now is a failure to lead, because they're not doing the one function. They're supposed to create law. They're supposed to have the power of the purse. They're supposed to run the government, and they don't. The reason that they don't is because they don't follow the Constitution. They don't realize that in the Constitution there's no reference to the two-party system. Simply, there's the lower house, which is representatives, one from each district based on proportion of people. And then there's the upper house, the Senate, and that's 2 per state. Until we get back to those representatives and those senators legislating, those Congress members and senators serving the will of the people, anybody who claims that they're a constitutionalist and they think that this system that we have now works, they're completely misinformed. So that's my lesson for the day. Let's hope that our Congress and our president and our Supreme Court get back to doing what they're supposed to do and representing the people.